Hello, ladies and gents, anyone who's watching, really. Today I'll be doing a combat guide on Kaiju Arisen. This should be pretty fun, so let's just get right into it. Kaiju Arisen combat is pretty similar to Kaiju Universe, in the fact that in Kaiju Universe, you really have to usually get close to your enemy and beam them if you're farther away, or hide behind buildings, stuff like that. Well, in this game, that's not as much of an option, especially with beaming. Beaming, for example. Beaming, you can be easily blocked in this game as it has a block function, which complicates the combat a lot. So when should you block, and when should you expect to have someone blocking? Well, you should usually block if someone's using either beam, or they are using one of their heavier attacks, such as attack like 3 or 2. But again, this is not a complete absolute, especially if they're using their special attack, which is their 5th attack, which can go through block. Some attacks as well can go through block anyways, I'm pretty sure, like Godzilla Ultima's Mist can go through it, but I think that might be an ultimate too. I'm not sure though. You should also want to use block against, beams, and you should expect blocks when you're beaming someone. Beaming in this game is not very efficient.
Help! Help! Help me!
Beams do not do much damage at all, and they're not really worth the effort or time that it takes to do them. It is an interesting dilemma there. If you're far away from your opponent, even if you want to beam, you should probably not beam and force them to go closer to you by running away. Well, not running away, but you get what I mean. Keep distance and try not to beam too often because, you're just going to get blocked. Another thing that you have to watch out for is if you want to have a more ranged play style, then the best possible option for you is probably Mechagodzilla 2021. Mechagodzilla 2021 not only has a beam, which is, it's decent. His beam he has a missile attack, which is his 5th attack, and it can go through blocks. If you want to maintain a range, you can do that. The only downside to the missiles is that they do very, very little damage at all. So that's one thing you have to make sure about. And for every kaiju, I think it's for every kaiju, they all have a specific attack that does knockback. For example, the kaiju that I'm using in the footage, Godzilla 2021, his first attack is a tail swipe, which knocks his opponents backwards. It's a very effective strat if someone's running away from you, though, because if they run away from you and you're hitting it, it'll actually, instead of sending them away from you, it'll send them to you. That's probably a bug, but I'm not gonna complain about it. So try not to get abused in this game too much. Use your block as much as you can. Another thing you have to keep track of if you're playing something like Godzilla 2021 or Kong 2021 is your energy meter, which can go up to 100 if you're playing as Kong 2021, but if you're playing as Godzilla 2021, it can go up to 500. When Kong has his energy, it has to hit at least 90 to use your 5th move, which I'm not sure how much damage it does, but it's effective. I don't recommend saving up the energy for it, though, because it's very easily blocked from my experience. Not blocked, but avoided. Whilst for Godzilla 2021, he goes thermo once he reaches... he goes thermo once he reaches 300 energy. And once he reaches 300 energy, thermo mode, he gains 150 health. 100 health, because there is another mode in between, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's not that big of a change. Every single attack, except for his 4th move, which gets removed because that's his atomic breath, he completely is overhauled. It's a completely new kaiju. It's a lot of damage compared to what it was before. In the footage above, you can see that I didn't die once throughout this entire playthrough. Once. And I was playing as Thermo Godzilla. With Godzilla 2021, you want to get Thermo Godzilla as soon as you possibly can. He is extremely useful when you are using Godzilla 2021. Even when you aren't blocking, because I don't block much in this game, you can still get a lot of damage in. But that's more of a niche thing to talk about. Another thing you have to make sure about in this game is that you don't have to make sure about it, but a general tip I have for you. Use control lock. Use it. It makes it so much easier. Beams in this game are essentially useless, so there's no point in not putting it on, because if you beam while in control lock, most likely you're gonna hit yourself because of how it's aimed. So what you want to do is put yourself in control lock to do quick turns and will make it easier to navigate around yourself. This is a huge thing I cannot stress enough throughout most of this footage, except I think like the end of it. I am completely in control lock. There is nothing in here where I'm not. And that's just to roar. There I'm still in control lock. You can't move while you're roaring like that, usually. For another example, you know what I mean. For this game, it's very, very easy to think that you should beam, because stuff like Godzilla Ultima and Mechagodzilla 2021, they have the strongest beams in the game, I'm pretty sure. It's very alluring, but it's not worth it because their beams are very easily just canceled out by blocking. Blocking in this game is very important. I've already gone over it, but if you want to get good at it, you have to master it, because blocking also has a meter to it, which I think it's like 6 dashes and then you're done with it. It has a charge meter, I guess you would say. It doesn't go based off of how many times you've been hit, like Project Kaiju, which goes off of like 6 every hit that you take usually. No, in this game, it's just a time-based thing. So, if you're getting beamed, for example, it'll still go down, and you can then keep blocking, or you can stop blocking and gain energy. And then, after that, just continue on your way. In this game, I also recommend sprinting a lot. Sprinting is your life essence in this game. If you don't, you're probably going to be left behind by many other people. Sprinting or flying, depending on what you're playing, because Destroy is the only flyer in the game, I'm pretty sure. And another thing I want to make sure people realize, unlike, again, Project Kaiju, in this game, you gain health back when you kill something. So if you gain health back afterwards, and it's only if you get the kill. If someone else kills them, you're not getting any health back. It's not like Kaiju Universe in that regard. You have to be the one to kill them. That is an absolute necessity. Like in the footage, I almost get my kill stolen like 8 times, and it's ridiculous that it almost happened that many times. But I keep having to kill immediately because, well, if I don't, then I'm probably going to get killed by the person I'm fighting. For kaijus like Kamata-kun and the octopus, you want to use their 5th moves as much as you possibly can, because unlike many other kaijus, their moves move around with them. Because for the Kamata-kun and squid, they leave trails behind, which is, in my opinion, very OP, and, well, does a lot of damage. And you can cover around everyone, so it works. Another one that has this is actually Godzilla 1954, I think his name is? Yeah, I think he's Godzilla 1954. Either that he's Showa Godzilla in the game. But anyways, he can spray his atomic breath around him and create like a wall of fire that if you step into, you'll have like 60 damage done to you every second. I think that actually happens to me in the footage. I'm not sure though. In this though, with these these specials, it is very imperative that you use them as much as you possibly can, because again, great defense and offense at the same time, because you can create trails behind you that makes it harder to follow you, as well as the fact that they deal damage. So again, it's like placing nails wherever you are walked. It's very effective, like placing a bed of nails wherever you went. Another special that I think is very, very, very useful, or two special I think is very, very useful, is Final Wars and Zilla's, because Zilla's, for example, he just runs, or he can just literally go underground and just follow you immediately wherever you are. And he can, I think his ult does like 180 damage or something like that. I don't know though. And then Godzilla Final Wars, his is a beam, the red spiral ray that he has in the actual movie, and it goes through a block. So you can range your opponents with your beam. And unlike Kaiju Universe, there is no damage fall off for how far away you are, so you'll still do a ton of damage. So essentially, for every Kaiju, you want to have as much range as you possibly can without compromising yourself. And, well, not compromising, without making it impossible for you to fight with, and making it impossible for your opponent to fight. You want to have a fun fight, as well as a fight where you are in the position where you can win. As you can see in the footage, the mecha tries to range me, but he puts himself too far away, and I just heal whenever he does something. So he essentially loses because of his own actions, or his own inaction, I should say. But yeah, for basically most players, this is where the tips end. See ya.